What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start this show by being transparent. And yesterday, I said I didn't love anything. I overthought it. First of all, I overthought it. My initial thought was Sun Team total under. And I went to the window with first half over. Disaster, absolute disaster. So I was pretty annoyed with myself for that. Vino, hopefully you bet the under yesterday and did a little bit better than me.
Yeah, I was better in the fact that I was good enough to talk about it, Skee, but I didn't bet either way. And both of the ways that I looked yesterday would have cashed. The full game was way under. I think they only got to 131, and then Connecticut team total was under as well, but didn't play, so won't take credit for it because we left at least I left the chat with just a lean on those two. But again, Golden State, Skee, that's 2 games in a row now under 60 points to the other team. That's just what they're going to try and do here on the rest of the way out. And they put themselves in playoff position last night back into the 7th seed.
Yeah, and there's going to be a tight race all the way down to the end. So we got 2 games to talk about here today. Playoff. Yeah, I mean, one of those teams is right below or right there with Golden State. So we'll talk about both games today. We'll go in rotation order like we always do. That means first up is 6-13, 6-14, Dallas Wings, Indiana Fever. Opened up -6 for Indiana. I'm seeing it as high as 9.5 right now. Total open 168.5. And it just keeps moving. I mean, before the show, it opened 168.5. I'll say right now the highest I see is 170.5, but it is coming back down. It did get up to 172, but we'll move over to the injury report. And Arike was not at shoot around. She's listed as questionable. So I'm pretty sure that's what's bringing this total back down. For Indiana, they remain without Caitlin Clark. We know they've lost Barry McDonald and Sid Colson for the year, but they did sign Odyssey Sims to a hardship, whatever they call it, hardship contract or whatever, because their players are hurt. Well, they do add another point guard. You know, in that last game, no point guard, they still scored 92 points. Is that just how good the Fever are, or how bad the Chicago Sky suck? I don't know, but it was interesting to see. Do you think that they can come back and put up big numbers here again versus Dallas team?
It is interesting, Skee, that without a true point guard, right, missing their top 3, they get to play 2 of the worst defenses back to back in the WNBA. Chicago, we know their backcourt is a disaster. So to be able to score 92 against them without a point guard, I actually played Indiana team total over that day. It did get there. Dallas backcourt, not as big of a mess as Chicago's is. Certainly when you have Paige Beckers defensively, it's going to be better than what Chicago has to offer. But still, Indiana probably can do what they want offensively against this team. The Indiana offense is what's gone sour. The last 4 games, they haven't even reached 80 points. I get one of them was without Paige. Then the most recent one was with Paige back in the lineup, but we're not going to say that, you're rusty because you're inserting Paige Beckers after a 1-game absence. They just haven't scored, Skee. 78, 76, 77, 78. They're still giving up points, 88, 88, 91, 85. So the Indiana side should score here. The question for me is whether or not Dallas can score with them. I really did want to play over, full game over at the outset when I first looked at the number. But I didn't. Now without Arike, we always have that question. Well, I don't know that it's ever a question in your mind because she's, not going to be the assist leader in the WNBA. So maybe without her, the offense runs more fluid. We've seen that happen this season, and we've seen them talk about that at one point this season. As of now, I would say if I had to play, I'd play Indiana team total over. I just think that Dallas's defense, as we always say, is ass. And but the guard defense is a little better than Chicago's was, that's for sure.
Dallas defense is terrible. I don't think the Fever defense is great either. We do know Fever like to play up tempo. Dallas, I think, will be just fine playing that same style. And to what you're saying, I mean, I think Dallas has failed to clear 80 in like 5 straight games. They just, I mean, at some point, I think they start to come back towards the norm. Um, and also when these teams meet, usually it's fireworks, and it's been without different players in the lineup. The last time they met, the game only landed 166, but Dallas shot 13% from three, landing 166 with 13% from three. I mean, just the slightest improvement, and you can get to that number that you're looking at here today. Like I said, the 5 meetings before that, fireworks, all 180 plus. As far as the side is concerned, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to lay this many points. Like first game for Odyssey Sims, you're missing the 2 point guard. I know they look good versus Sky, but the Sky are just bad right now. I'm not sure that the Wings are that bad. So I would probably look towards taking the points with the Wings. I personally wouldn't care as far as a side is concerned with the Rike being out. Um, Addition by subtraction, if you ask me. So Wings or over would be the way that I'm looking in this game, Rob.
Yeah, and Dallas had just real quick, Skee. I really feel like they're playing with the lineup way too much at this point. I mean, they've had more transactions than anybody in the WNBA the last 2.5 weeks. And every time I go to review a box score, there's different players in, different players out. It's like they're trying to find that magic formula. Head coach said, and this came after last game where they were ahead by 11 at halftime and then blew the game in the second half to Washington. Washington absolutely went crazy offensively against them. And he just said, we need to put 40 minutes together. But you know what? I've heard Dallas say we need to put 40 minutes together all season long. So I don't know that they're ever going to put those 40 together on the defensive side. I'm in agreement with you a little bit that, offensively, you would think this should be an explosive game. I'm just real leery of the way they've played offense themselves, Dallas. That's usually the only thing they can hang their hat on is 85 or more, and they haven't been getting there lately.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking about it as we're talking. Is Dallas like quitting or tanking? Like you trade away Carrington, obviously you trade away Nalissa Smith earlier. Like when I look at the players, they just don't look happy. Like they don't look like they like each other. Don't look like they're happy to be there. Like for example, Paige, I'm a big Paige fan, right? So I watched the beginning of the games, or I watched like the little clips or whatever. Every time, every game when Dejanay was there, she's like doing this routine and laughing and smiling and happy, and she'll rip her pants off real quick, like the warm up pants. Now that Dejanay's gone, she's like just looking sad all the time. She don't even do her pregame thing anymore. She just, I don't know. It just seemed like the vibes might be gone from the Wings. Any last thoughts there before we move on?
Yeah, it's possible. It's just a team of, like I say, there's always new players being infused into that lineup, and it's hard to get any continuity that way. If Arike is out tonight, it'll be just another, different player in the starting lineup. So hard to get any bond there. For Paige, we'll see. Maybe the team has to do some house cleaning at the end of the year. But your point about Dejanay Carrington, I should have brought that up earlier, because when you were talking about past meetings, Dejanay did not play in the game that got to 180. And remember, at least in my mind, she's a defensive presence first, and anything you get offensively out of her is extra. And in the second game, it was Arike's return to the starting lineup, and the score went straight down. I didn't check the box to see if she was hoisting, 25 shots that day and only made 5, but I'm sure that had something to do with it in that game.
A couple comments really quick. B-Man likes Paige points over 18.5, says it's hit each time versus the Fever. He said she knows Caitlin Clark is watching. She's going to show up, I guess he's saying there. Dropping dimes, think the Wings struggle to score. Some different opinions from everybody here. So we'll move it along to the next game. That looks like Liberty and Sparks, 6-15, 6-16. Liberty opened as a 3-point favorite. I see 4 or 4.5 currently. Total open 178.5. That might be the highest opener that we've seen all season. I think it is 178.5 opener, but it's one come down as low as 175. I'm seeing at a shop. As far as who is available for the Liberty, still no Stewie, no Sabali, Izzy Harrison and Kennedy Burke also look like they're out. For the Sparks, it's all hands on deck right now. We need it. They need every win, Rob Veno. Nobody is sitting out. Nobody is hurt. This will be this is the fifth game in eight nights for the Sparks. So, they have been playing a lot of basketball lately. Third game in 4 nights, all that good stuff. But they do have rest before this game. The last meeting between these teams, the Sparks won 101-99 as a double digit underdog. Now, and then they were on the road, I believe, in that game. Now they're at home at a shorter price. Like we talked about earlier, playoff position. Sparks are in that last playoff spot. Um, I think they are, right? Yeah, they're in the last playoff spot. Should double check. But it's an important game. They need every win that they can get. I think you get a max effort from the Sparks here. And you know me, Rob Vino. If I'm betting a Sparks game total, 95% of the time, it's one direction I want to go. I'm curious how you're viewing Liberty and Sparks.
Yeah, I do like total. And let me just add to this, Ski, that all of a sudden, standings wise, this becomes important for the Liberty. Liberty are in second place, but they're 2 games ahead of sixth place. And all of a sudden, they've got a problem called the Atlanta Dream, who have tied them for second at 20 and 11. And then when you go down, they're only a game ahead of Phoenix, only 2 games ahead of Indiana, only 2 games ahead of Las Vegas. How could that be? How could they only be 2 ahead of Las Vegas, right? But that's what it is. And all this time that Breanna Stewart has spent on the sidelines, and obviously add to it Sabali as well. It's and Kennedy Burke. It's been tough for them, but I don't think it'll be tough to score points. I really don't. They're coming off that game against Minnesota, where at home they got embarrassed second half, blow halftime lead, lose by 14 in the second half. Minnesota kind of, even without Collier, asserted themselves as the top team in the league on New York's home court. Come here to LA. It's going to be up and down. New York will go up and down. New York is one of those, let's put it this way. Golden State, when they played Los Angeles just a few days ago, Golden State understands LA's going to push, push, push. We can't really push as well as they do as far as pace is concerned. So we're going to try and slow this thing down. And they were effective doing it. New York doesn't go into any game looking at that. New York is I think they're number 1 or number 2 in fast break points. They're going to say we're better than LA at running. And so it should be up and down, probably why we saw 178.5. But the Liberty team total is 89.5. And the Sparks have given up 90 plus in 5 of their last 7. It's easy for them to give up 90. It's easy for them to get to 90. I think I just trust the Liberty a little bit more to score what's necessary from them, simply because, if you're the head coach there, you're telling your team, we've got a little bit of a standings problem here as well. LA needs it. I feel like New York needs it a little bit too, especially confidence-wise. So I like the Liberty team total over 89.5. I wouldn't argue anybody off of any form of total in this game. I just happen to think the Liberty team total is going to get to 90, win or lose.
I get trusting a team to score more on the Sparks defense than the Liberty defense. I 1000% understand that. But I still think this Sparks team can score on the Liberty. I mean, they've been able to score on everybody except the Valkyries in that last game. But in general, it hasn't been really anybody who can stop them. And yes, both teams need it, like you said. Liberty tied with the Dream. And I misspoke. The Sparks are actually sitting right outside the playoffs. I think half a game behind the Storm. So, I know it's a goal for them this season. You're going to have to bring max effort here tonight. I can't lay with the Liberty the way that they've been. I just think the Sparks have been looking better than them. If I look at last 5 game stats, it does say Sparks have been a slightly better rebounding team. They've absolutely been the better offense. We know they haven't been the better defense, but Sparks just been playing better to me. And I know that the Liberty are tied, but I think the Sparks need it more. Even if they don't win, I think it's a closely contested game. So I would be looking at Sparks or this one up and over the total. As far as the chat, different things they're liking. ZB Miami likes Rakia over 14.5 points. Mark is looking at the Liberty. He thinks they're the better team. Let's see. Anything else here? B-Man says, can't trust New York on the road, in my opinion, even though it's an NY spot, he says. A lot of different opinions there. But we gave ours, broke down these two games in about a little bit under 16 minutes. I think we did a pretty good job. So on that note, let's move it over to best bets. And Vino, not going to put up any graphics here. I do know we have, what is it? I think you can get 7 days all access for $69. That is one of the promos we have going over here at Wager Talk. But outside of that, is there anything else you would like to promote? And if you have a best bet for the show, we would love to hear it. If you don't, no worries.
I would just say real quick that it's $5 Tuesday over at Wager Talk. So if you want to get any handicappers top play for $5, go over there and visit wagertalk.com. Usually a good day to try and get involved. I always like this day because I made the cut on this one. Inside the photo before they cut somebody's face off there in the one block. I don't know who that is, but
get him out of here. We got Rob Veno on
yeah, shift that thing over. $5 Tuesday, wagertalk.com. Yesterday, I did also mention Odds Logic. For those of you who really want timely odds, you can get a 7-day free trial. Go to wagertalk.com and get injury information. And like I say, the fastest odds in the business from, I think it's like 30 different outlets. So you're not going to be hurting for being able to stay on top of the number, on top of injuries. If you need to bet quick, like sometimes you'll see Skee shut down the show, got to make those plays. So you got to have the top information available. Let's get to best bet, Skee. I'll just go back to what we just talked about. I like the Liberty over 89.5 tonight. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Obviously, 178.5 was the opener for a reason. I think the only reason why that game has been bet down is because 178.5 is tough to get to, unless you're the LA Sparks. They seem to do it on a nightly basis in their games. I wouldn't be surprised if they get to 90 as well. I'm going to put my faith in the Liberty to get over that 89.5. Best bet today, New York Liberty team total over 89.5.
I like it. Man, I've been doing really good with these unders as best bets, but I don't like an under today as my best bet. I'll say that. So I'm thinking if I want to go side or total, I'll say this, Rob, I'm gonna double up with you. I'll go over. You know what? I'm going to go over 175 is the best number I see out there in this game. So you'll go Liberty side only. Hey, if you tell me the Liberty are going to put up their fair share, I think the Sparks do too. And that will get you up and over to 175. I haven't put it in yet, but I can put it in very shortly. So that's how I'm seeing this game. Appreciate you taking the time to break down all of these games with us, Rob Veno. Tomorrow, looks like we have 4 games on the slate, so even more to choose from. For everybody else out there, we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you sharing insight. Everybody in the chat, Twitch has some problems today, but hopefully it has a signal, like it might not have worked. But if you are watching on Twitch, we appreciate you. X, YouTube Shorts, Kick, Apple, Spotify, we appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Best of luck on all your action, and we'll catch you tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.